Welcome to Manufacturing Processes, Machining and Machine Tools lectures by Professor Joyjeet Ghosh. This is the fourth lecture of a series of lectures. This lecture will be on tool materials. He will be discussing about properties required of a good tool material, different types of tool materials and applications of the tool materials. So, do not miss and watch the full video. For the next video in the lecture series, please click the suggested video link above. You may also click on the playlist at end of the video to access my videos. Please subscribe this channel and yes, do not forget to like and share. Also click on the bell icon to receive instant information of new videos uploaded. Thank you.
Hello friends, welcome to lecture 4. This is the first lecture of module 2. In this we'll discuss tool materials. So start with the cutting tools and its characteristics. First we'll discuss what are the characteristics required of a good tool material. So a cutting tool must have certain characteristics. What are these characteristics? First is that hardness. It is important that a cutting tool material should be harder than the workpiece material which you are cutting. But there's a problem with hardness is that as the cutting progresses, heat is generated, and because of the heat, this hardness decreases. Now there is another property of a material which is called hot hardness, which is basically the ability of a particular cutting tool material to retain its hardness even at elevated temperature. So different material has different hot hardness. Like the hot hardness of a high-speed steel is around 600 degree centigrade, whereas as of a ceramic will be around 900 degree centigrade. So hot hardness for different materials varies, and it is important that the cutting tool material retains its hardness. It is one of the most important characteristics of a cutting tool material is its hot hardness, and it's important for a cutting tool material to retain its hardness even at elevated temperature. If the cutting tool material loses its, because temperature will always increase during metal cutting, and if the cutting tool material loses its hardness, then it will not be able to cut. So it is a very important point. And some other characteristics is the toughness. Obviously you want the material to be tough in a sense that it should not fracture easily. It should be able to absorb the load before it fractures. So sometimes what happens due to impact loading, when you start, there is impact load acting impact load of the workpiece that acts on the cutting tool. Now the cutting tool material should be able to absorb such kind of loads. So toughness is also another important point that should be there in a good cutting tool material. Wear resistance. Obviously cutting tool will wear in certain period of time, it will wear, but it should not wear rapidly. So wear resistance is also another important characteristics. Low friction. So there will be friction, that chip will flow over the top face of the tool. So friction will be there. It should not, or it should have low coefficient of friction. And thermal characteristics. It should be able to dissipate the heat. Heat will be generated, and the cutting tool material should be such that it should dissipate the heat as soon as possible. So it should have high thermal conductivity. So these are the characteristics that is required of a good cutting tool materials. Now let us see what are the different cutting tool materials that are used in industry nowadays. So we'll start with the most primitive one, which is the carbon and basically high carbon and medium alloyed steels. So this could retain its hardness around 200 degrees centigrade. So it hardly can be used as a high-speed metal machining operations. But initially it was used. Still now it is being used for certain tools like scissors, saw, etc. High carbon and medium alloy steels are still used. Then comes high-speed steel. It was invented by Frederick W. Taylor and his associate White in 1900, and this invention of this material revolutionized the cutting tool industry and the machining industry as such, because this enabled machine tool manufacturer to develop machine tools which will cut at a speed at a very very high speed to enhance the productivity of metal machining industry. So what they have done is they have taken basically high carbon steel and alloyed it with certain alloying elements like manganese, chromium, tungsten, vanadium, molybdenum, cobalt, and niobium. Each has its own utility in the alloy. And developed a material which is termed as high speed steel. Simply high speed steel because it can be used at a higher speed. That is why it was named high speed steel. So this different alloy has different effect. You can go through it. I'm not going into it, but basically there are two types: tungsten based and molybdenum based. Molybdenum based is named as M, and tungsten based is named as T. These are the effect of the alloying elements. You can go through it. And next, probably the most important of all cutting tool materials is cemented carbide or sintered carbide. It was discovered in the year 1926 and around 1930. So it is basically produced by powder metallurgy route. It is that is the powders of carbides. Normally 2 to 3 types of carbides are used: tungsten carbide, tantalum carbide, and titanium carbide. It is mixed with a binding material of cobalt. So the cobalt binds this titanium carbide and other carbide together, and then it is sintered at a sintering furnace, so that it is given a shape, and then it is sintered in a sintering furnace. So this type of material can retain its hardness to around 900 to 1000 degrees centigrade. So they can be used at a very very high cutting speed. But one of the limitations of this type of cutting tool material is they are highly brittle, and therefore they normally low rake angle or negative rake angle are used along with this. So these are available in types of inserts and braze tool. So inserts are various shapes. Inserts are there. Now, tungsten carbide cobalt tools were used to cut steel, but there's a problem while cutting steel with tungsten carbide cobalt cutting tools. So therefore, we use tungsten carbide, titanium carbide, and cobalt mixed for cutting steel, whereas this is used for cutting non-steel grades. So these are the various types of insert shape which is fitted to the tip and clamped like this, or it can be brazed also, like it is brazed here, and each of the edges can be used. You can rotate after one edge is finished, then you can rotate and index it, and you can use the all different edges. So these are various types of inserts of cemented carbides tools. Next is coated cemented carbide. It was with the advent of various coating technologies, PVD, CVD, etc., plasma coating, plasma nitriding. So various types of coating technology was invented, and that enabled us to coat the cutting tool material, that is cemented carbide, with various types of coating like titanium carbide, titanium nitride, aluminum oxide. Now this coating increases basically what this coating does is that it increases this fire resistance, and therefore it can be used at a still higher speed. So you can, in the market, you can find coated cemented carbide and uncoated cemented carbide. These coatings are extremely thin coating. There can be multiple layers of coating also. Extensive research has been done and still going on in coating of cutting tool materials. So cast cobbles was discovered before cemented carbide was invented. It's basically non-ferrous alloys. Normally we hear saying loha ko katta hai. That is not correct. So this is basically a non-ferrous alloy which can cut metal or steel even. So basically it's a combination of cobalt, chromium and tungsten in various percentages. So it can retain its hardness around 900 degrees centigrade and 25% higher speed than that of HSS. But it failed to become popular because by that time it became popular, cemented carbide was available in the market. Cemented oxide or ceramic cutting tool is also another popular cutting tool material. It is basically also a non-metallic even. Not ferrous, it is non-metallic material. It's basically aluminum oxide produced by powder metallurgy route. It is also highly brittle. It can be used at even higher speed, that is around 1200 degrees centigrade. Then cermets. Cermets are ceramics in metal binders. Cermets are ceramic material in metal binders like titanium carbide, nickel, titanium nitride, and other carbides are used as binders. So these binders are used, and this is also this did not become that much popular. Then of course diamond is the one of the most hardest material available industrially. So in industry we use industrial grade diamond, that is polycrystalline diamond. Sorry, this type of diamonds are used. Diamonds are normally used in grinding processes and cubic boron nitride. It was invented by GE, General Electrics, and they had given a trade name Borazol in 1969. So it is one of the hardest material. It is also a polycrystalline material and are mainly used as a grinding wheels rather. So these are different types of materials that are available. The list is of course not complete. These are some of the important materials that I have discussed. There are also other materials industrially available which I have not discussed here. So these are the graphs showing the where you can use it between the cutting speed and feed. And this diagram shows the at what temperature the hardness is retained. You can see carbon steel around 200 degree loses hardness rapidly. High speed steel around 600. After 600 it loses hardness rapidly. The carbides loses the hardness rapidly after 1000 degrees centigrade. Ceramics after around 1200 degree centigrade. So toughness. So HSL has the most toughness, and likewise diamond has it highly brittle, so it has less toughness. So that's it in this lecture. We have discussed about different types of cutting tool materials, their applications in metal machining. Thank you for watching this video patiently.